underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all, and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.
Brother k-rino, and y'all are tuned in to another episode of the
Underground Dialogue
podcast, where the name speaks for itself, man. It's your big brother k-rino, my co-host
Key Stove,
and we have a legend in the building, man. I'm talking about, man, this dude. I can remember hearing his name ringing back in the late 80s, you know, just back when I used to actually listen to the radio. This brother came off the porch so early as a DJ and is still relevant and regarded as one of the most legendary DJs to come out of the city of Houston, but definitely in the southern region, and made his name worldwide. And we happy to have him, man.
Yeah.
The great,
the who?
Michael 5000 Watts. What's up, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. How y'all doing, man?
Well.
Bless indeed, brother. Bless indeed. I want to ask you about that. Tell us about when you first jumped off the porch, because like I said, I was hearing your name on the radio long before the Houston rap scene had even really just got popping like it did. When did you first get in the game and start DJing and all that?
Man, dude, I really first got in the game in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was my homeboy had some equipment in his back, you know, in his backyard on his porch and stuff, and we used to DJ outside, and I used to always practice on his equipment, you know. That same year when I got into DJing, well, I'm gonna tell you, so I practiced on this equipment, so that I started. Let me rewind it. Let me get it straight. Okay. I started in the 7th grade, right, practicing on my homeboy equipment, and at that point, that summer, I remember cutting grass with my uncle.
Yeah.
That summer, and all the money I made from cutting grass, I went and bought DJ equipment, and in the 8th grade, I started making mixtapes. The first person I made a mixtape was my friend named Kevin Delton. Yeah, he's the first person I made a mixtape for.
So what year was that? About 80 what?
Maybe 86-ish, 85-ish, 86-ish.
So when did we start, man? Because I'm telling you, man, I was hearing your name on the radio like way back in the days, man. When did you first hit the airwaves?
Man, I started in the early 90s.
Gotcha.
You know, because before that, you know, mainly I was a mixtape DJ, and I was making quite a bit of noise back then in the 80s.
Right.
You know, Daryl Scott was on the South Side doing this thing, you know. And I was making mixtapes in the 80s and stuff, and what people call mashups.
Yeah.
I was doing that in the 80s.
Tell us what a mashup is.
Basically, it's like you get say you get an R&B song, and you put drum breaks behind it.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. So basically, what I would do is I'll take the R&B songs, like Isley Brothers, and I'll make it where the brothers can play this in their cars, like what we call slabs back then.
Right.
You know, they got that back then. It was the White Cone Pioneers and stuff. Man, I make it where it was player, where you could play this maze, and I put the bass behind the maze, and put the bass behind the Isley Brothers and stuff like that, and that's how I started getting popular in school, selling mixtapes, doing that.
Now, who was your influences when you started DJing? Who was the DJing that you was like, oh yeah, that's that one?
Walter.
Walter D?
Walter D.
Okay.
Back then, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I learned how to DJ by hanging over Walter D's DJ booth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I learned how to put songs on beat and all that stuff, man. Like when he was DJing, I started watching Walter when he used to DJ at the skating rink.
Yeah.
Super
Skate. I used to be a skater back then. But then when I used to go in the daytime because I was a young kid.
Yeah.
But when I wasn't skating, I would go hang over the DJ booth and watch what he was doing. You know, Lester Pace and Walter
Oh,
D.
man.
Yeah, you bringing us some names.
man. The greats, man.
Shout out to Walter D, man.
Yeah, no question, man. And Lester and Darryl Scott, man. So you was back in the days. I love to talk to DJs because they like to talk about them days when you did do a gig. You got to bring out the crates and records and stuff. Man. You go from the crate days.
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah. How would that just unloading all that stuff? Because my partner Murder used to DJ all the time, and I used to help him load that stuff in, man. I know they were glad when them Seratos came out, boy, but they still love that essence of that old school, just while the club popping and you figuring out what you're going to play, you digging through them things, man, like that. What's the first clubs you start hitting up DJing on your own like that?
You know, it's crazy. I've never been like a real club DJ.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yes, I always been like a private party type DJ. I'm a mobile DJ.
Gotcha.
I mainly did a mobile DJ. So by the time I started getting offered clubs, I was so spoiled off the mobile DJ money that I didn't want to do the clubs.
Yeah, I'll let y'all have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know.
so.
But I'll probably do a day or two at the club. You know, I probably would spend one night at Oasis or something like that. I actually spent a set at Jamaica back in the day. You know, they had the club on the north side off of 45. You know, I spent there a couple of nights with Captain Jack, you know.
Okay.
But I love doing mobile work because, number one, you always learn something new.
Yeah.
And then it's always a challenge.
Yeah, right.
You never get bored like in the club.
Right.
You know, and I always loved moving around.
As a DJ, how did you learn how to adapt to different crowds? Like you mobile, you going, even in the club, you know, but when you mobile, I know somebody might hit you up and say, man, you know, we ain't doing all that rap stuff, just more grown up. Like, how do you make that adjustment back then?
Just from years of trial and error.
Yeah.
That's the advantage about doing mobile DJing because every crowd that you play for is different.
Yeah.
So I'm naturally already exposed to Zydeco and blues and every genre of music, man. I might be playing pop this night. I might be playing for a crowd and I'm playing disco or something like that. Or I might be playing house music. Because when you do mobile DJing, you get exposed to all of this stuff.
Right.
So when after doing this for years, it wasn't that much of a challenge to me because I'm already exposed to the whole spectrum already.
Do you have to like all the music you play? Or like when you get hired for a certain spot, you're like, man, okay, I know I got to play, but I ain't really fitting it or...
Absolutely.
You got
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, I'm a fan of hip hop and I'm a fan of soul music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I am not a country music fan.
Right.
You know, but they have a lot of good country music, but I'm not a country music fan.
Yeah.
You know, Tennessee whiskey for you.
You know, I can tolerate it, but I'm not a fan of it. You know, just to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
That's really about it. But every other genre of music around there, I'm a music head, you know. Because if you hear some of my mixtapes, man, you might hear me do a mashup with actually a country song, even though I don't like it. But I have done it sometimes. The feeling will hit me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't like being like a limited artist.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I like to go wherever I want to go with the music.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah.
He's an artist.
And I ain't never heard a DJ
didn't say
that. That's deep, man. So as far as the radio, because I'd like to say we were here. When did you first hit the radio and was getting to do your mixes and stuff?
I first started really mixing on the radio on 97.9.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably in 92 or 93.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and Lester got me on the radio.
Right.
You know, it's so crazy. He blessed me, man. He used to let me come to the radio station and he would let me do his ghost mix for him.
Gotcha.
Man.
Let me ask you this: When was the first time did you ever get the chance to meet Screw?
I met Screw a couple of times. Yeah.
And what was your the impression he gave to you?
Man, you know what? He was respectful, man. I wasn't. I was actually expecting some kind of animosity because what was going on between the north side and the south side at that point. But Screw was cool as shit.
That's how he is.
I mean, I was really surprised. I'm like, damn, man, this dude ain't nothing like I expected. You know what I mean?
Everybody got the same story.
That whole time period, it bothers me, man, because I looked at it as man, we got all this greatness on the south side, all this greatness on the north side, and the north side is now finally at that time starting to get the props they deserve, and with all the artists that were coming up and doing their thing, it was unfortunate to see all that animosity coming in, man. What made you go into the slowing and chopping thing like that, and to say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do my thing, and bring it to the north side?
Honestly, my boys from Rosewood, they had begged me to do this shit for years. Right. And finally, I blessed them and I did one for them, you know, and that's how I got started.
Right.
You know, I want to, my boy Carlton, Charlie Moe, you know, a couple of my boys from Rosewood, you know, they, you know, everybody was listening to screw tapes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, you know, at the end of the day, when you listen to a screw tape, you know it was a Southside thing, you know?
Yeah, I hear a story of like, what that Slim say, he said, man, I used to love Screw, but I keep hearing the records and they dissing us on the like, it's hard to get into it, like, man, I understood that, man. I'm just glad that, you know, now in this time frame that we in, that it's accepted, man, which makes me want to transition into how the whole Swishahouse thing get started, and what was your role in that in terms of building that up?
Man, I created the Swishahouse.
Gotcha.
That's my thing.
Okay.
I created it. I started doing it before any rapper even got on any of the mixtapes.
Right.
I started the Swishahouse. It came from, I made my slow down mixes, Swisher mixes.
Gotcha.
I called my studio the Swishahouse.
Gotcha.
So that's how I ended up coming up with the name.
Right. See, I'm learning.
You smoke?
I used to back in the day. I don't smoke as much. I'm a casual smoker.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I just called it Swisher mixes because I didn't want to call them screw mixes because I wanted to make the slow down. You know, that's what I was thinking about back then. You know, we doing swishers, swishers. We smoking swishers back then. So I thought it would, you know, go really cool with the vibe of the slow down music.
So go ahead, Kiki.
I was gonna say, did you ever go like marketing classes and stuff? Cause the way your tapes used to be, you had commercials in there, you had numbers, information that you can dial with to find more CDs if you like this and that. What made you get that thought process to I know I got their ears, but now let me sell them something?
Man, you know what? It just kind of, when you started hearing about the Swishahouse, at that point, I was already into commercial radio. So the stuff that I learned in commercial radio and doing production, I actually was adding that to the Swishahouse mixes.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to a Swishahouse mix, you can tell that this is actually a production. It was more than sitting at the studio and just slowing down and chopping up a tape.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the same effort that most people would put into an album, I would put that into a mixtapes, especially when I had the guys rapping on it.
Yeah, cause they used to come back and do the ad libs.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was I'm gonna tell you something on the Freestyles. A lot of them at first there wasn't ad libs; that was just people in the background.
Oh, they were there?
Yeah, there were people in the background. You could hear them. And back in the day, like I had a Radio Shack mic.
I know what you're talking about.
I had a radio.
I'm well familiar with the Radio Shack mic.
A Radio Shack mic with a sock on top of it.
That
was a Papa Stop. You know what I mean? So that stuff that you heard in the background, no, that wasn't added. No, that was just everybody was in the room at the same time, and everybody was like cheering each other on in the background.
How much you wish you had a camera doing?
I wish I did have a camera doing. Oh man, it would have been epic. You know?
Ooh,
yes.
That'd have been ugly, man.
Yes.
So let me ask you this: so we know all of the legendary stories of how Screw would bring the artists to the house and all that. Is that the process you did, or how did the artists of Swishahouse come to be, like in those early days?
Everybody that came to the Swishahouse was a friend of a friend.
Gotcha.
So like one of the first artists that ever came to the that actually was a part of the Swishahouse was Lester Roy.
Gotcha.
Lester Roy lived on the next street from me.
Okay.
All right, and it was Lester Roy and Archie Lee.
Right.
They was like the first artists that actually said like Swishahouse, and that were some of the first artists.
Yeah.
You know, I had people that was actually rapping on my mixtapes, but when I started doing the slow down mixtapes, Lester Roy and Archie Lee was the first ones.
Right.
Archie Lee was Lester Roy's best friend.
Gotcha.
And the rest of the guys, you know, like everybody came in as a friend of a friend.
Gotcha.
Right? So me and Ron C, we was doing this place called the All Star. This is where we met the whole Acres Home crew.
Gotcha.
So one day Lil Mario freestyled at the All-Star. Lil Mario was the first artist from Acres Home to get on the Swishahouse tape, right? Lil Mario brought in J-Dog and Slim Thug.
Wow. Ooh, he brought some monsters with him, and he a monster.
Yeah.
Jesus. Man, that's that history, man. We got the great Michael 5000 Watts with us, man. So, as far as it becoming a label, and I'm gonna go back because there's a lot of stuff I still want to touch on there. How did the actual idea of saying, well, you know what, man, let's start trying to actually put these artists out and form a roster and do a label? How did that come about?
Man, the mixtapes just got so hot and the artists just got so hot, we just had to do it.
Right.
You know, the demand was there. Like the mixtapes had.
How was you selling yours? You selling like out the house like Screw or?
It was a combination of both. I first started selling them out of the house, but I you know, like at the end of the day, man, I'm more or less was thinking more like a business strategy. So, you know, everybody had all these independent stores, so I just started selling them out of everybody independent stores. You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I already had a lot of traffic already coming to the house because, like I said, before Swishahouse even existed, I'm a decade in already doing mixtapes already, and I still have a mixtape clientele already coming through there. So I'm running traffic like a trap. Still. Right. And I didn't want to add on to that.
Right. Yeah, but it got so hot, man. Cause I was, you know, we on the south side, but you seeing that movement, you hearing it, it's knocking on your eardrum, like, okay, the boy's coming, you know what I'm saying? So what was it like in them early days? How did y'all record? How did y'all bring the guy? They came and just had to set up, like you say, with the Radio Shack mic. Were they rapping on that, or y'all had another kind of setup?
Man, it started with that, you know. It started with the Radio Shack mic, and, you know, just got a digital board. I'm a sound quality freak. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really like just recording on anything. I like stuff to sound clean. It's just like I say, I'm already doing production and all this type of stuff, and I'm doing radio. And I already been a sound quality freak even from back then before I even had equipment like that, you know?
Right. So those mixes sounded like studio albums.
Yes. Man, when we was recording, right, in my mind, I didn't look at what we was doing as competing with just the locals around here, right? I felt like I wanted to have this on the level of national. You know what I'm saying? That's what my mind was. You know what I mean? Like I wanted the person that was going platinum. I wanted the artist to sound like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Now let me ask you this. This is a lot of us from the South. We look at you and we sit back and we imagine DJ Screw would put that label together. This is probably who we get that idea from your journey and where you come from that. Now starting up Swishahouse, was it a difficult thing to get everybody together and get people sign contracts and build that?
And who was the original? Who was the guy that y'all said we're gonna start this? We finna bust in the door with this core group.
Man, you know, the group was already there. You know what I'm saying? We were our family. We was all doing this here for the fun. You know, we wasn't so much just thinking about the fact that we're gonna do this as an album. It just grew into that point. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody evolved to that point. Man, the artists are hot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has money. Everybody has a name. Everybody has the buzz. You know, we got a budget where we can produce the album. Let's do it. You know, it was to that time, you know, and that was in 1999.
Right.
And that's when we did the Day Hell Broke Loose Part 1.
Okay, no doubt.
So was all of those people signed to Swishahouse?
No, man, it wasn't, man. We was just, you know what I mean, at that point.
On the GP, huh?
It was on the GP, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, we had like a little contract that I was trying to do, but at the end of the day, man, you know, being young, you know, I was young, you know, so I didn't really understand the business, so, you know, just did a little something, you know, not a contract that was really worth a damn, you know what I'm saying? But
there's something that'll hold up.
Just a little something around there, you know. But at the end of the day, man, it's just like, man, it just grew into that shit. You know what I mean?
What made you reach across the map and go grab Kiki?
You know what? I'm gonna say that's
Look,
Ferris.
hold on. Let's go back. Yeah. Let's go back because we're gonna transition to that because what I wanted to ask you about when y'all started popping.
Yeah.
Then you know I don't know if a lot of that beef was going on early on, but I know there was a time where it kind of hit a head where that north side south side thing was really. How was y'all navigating through that? Because one thing I know about being in Houston all our life, man. It was talking, a lot of chatter from mainly people, just fans. I'm living in both hoods, but I don't think the artists disliked each other like that. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was no hate between, because a lot of them guys ended up doing projects together and all that. Like, so how'd y'all navigate through all the funk that was going on?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Regardless of what was going on, I come from a position of love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even with the peak of the north side and south side war, I always play south side music.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm on the radio and stuff like that, man, dog, I am, you know how you say colorblind? I'm hate blind.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about what you doing. Good music is good music, man. And you know, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna not play your good music just because you're from the south side. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
You know, like I say, I'm hate blind, bro. You know, and I believe that had a lot to do with the fact of making things easier for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Because at the end of the day, that music is like it's a bridge, bro, and it bridges the gap between a lot of that animosity. So it can calm the situation down if you hear a Watts playing. Wait, Watts playing some screwed up click today. Like, yeah, because he ain't tripping. You know, so y'all shouldn't be tripping either. I was so glad when I saw, and it may have been years later, my timelines be off, but when I saw that Slim and ESG had did a project, Slim and Kiki had did a project, all of it, however it came about, whether it's business or whatever, I was just glad to see it because those things kind of diffused a lot of that mess that was going on. Because I don't know if any casualties came out of that. I remember hearing nothing about it, but I'm just glad that Houston we a little more G than that to kind of let it get out of hand, because it never really got out of hand in my opinion. You know, that's something I don't know about.
Well, you ain't been in chocolate town.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, little fights and all. I'm talking about what somebody really got. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know, like I said, I'm from Rosewood, right? The war was in the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was definitely going on like that, and I knew exactly what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My thing is this here, right? I know that love beats hate. You know what I mean?
All the time.
So at the end of the day, when you show people love around there, you want them to feel it. You know what I mean? If you try to tell people to get together, man, they'll be like, oh, nah. But when you just put people together, that's a whole different thing, because people see the benefit and they feel the benefit of the love. You know what I'm saying?
And leading by that example, man. You know, just great game from the OG. Now we'll get back to what Keisto was asking about. Like years later, we looked up one day and we seen that Kiki was on Swishahouse. How that whole thing come about?
Man, and you know what? T. Ferris put that together.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? T. Ferris put that together, man, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that was T. Ferris and G Dash. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Absolutely.
You brought him in.
Yeah, man. You know, of course, man. Kiki always had my blessings, man. Because you know, I used to edit Kiki's album and play his stuff on my show. I wasn't playing just Southside, man. I'm playing Niggas Be Hating Me. Yeah. I'm playing all
Bounce and Turn.
Bounce and Turn. You know what I mean? I'm playing like
going down the track list.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Kiki fan.
Yeah.
Straight up, you know what I mean?
Me too. Yeah.
Like even with I was playing his freestyles and everything on the radio, man. I'm a Kiki fan straight up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like when I say, man, I support him, man. I support him at a point of love. You know what I mean?
I think to this day, Watts still might be the only one that's still actually breaking new
Man,
artists.
you in my head. I wanted to ask you about it because why? I don't know if it's the digital thing. I'm gonna let you ask the question. Why don't you see music being broke anymore? You know, it's what I got my opinions, but I want to ask you. It seems like we just don't see DJs taking an artist that nobody ever heard of and organically making them pop off like that.
What happened was the politics ended up going to the streets. At first, the politics was just on the radio. So when the politics was on the radio, all of us on the street was operating from love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when the politics hit the street, a lot of the DJs stopped breaking records because they felt like they didn't have any interest in it. You know, so they basically was
How
acting as
the
politicians.
politics hit the street? How'd that happen? You know, the boys trying to.
I don't know, but like I say, even with that happening,
Yeah.
I never let that affect me
Yeah,
because
right.
even to this day, I
know.
still take people records and edit them and play them.
Yeah.
I'll probably be the only person that played Maxo Cream on the radio
Right.
back then. You know what I mean?
Right. What role do you think the and I'm just asking, the DJ groups and cliques play? You know, when the hot the
Go
groups and
DJ.
DJs and all that came out, I would hear tales about them. Hey man, it's gonna cost you, give them 5,000. Do you think that played a role in kind of messing the game
That
up?
probably did. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never been part of a DJ clique
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
You know, like I'm cool with them, man, but to be personally really involved in it and how they operate, I can't tell you.
Right, gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, man. I mean, because I miss the days where guys would have that just motivation, like, I'm the first one. DJs will say to me, I'm the first one that played it. I'm the one that broke that. And it seems like you just don't hear that.
And you hear like people be like, man, shoot, I ain't got nothing out of it, man. Shoot, man. I'm gonna play the record. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a DJ and you play a record that I like, if I can't Shazam it, I'm gonna go take a screenshot of your playlist, and if I can't get it, I would ask you bluntly, could I have that song? I used to actually pass a pack of flash drive with me in case you play something I like.
Let me get that up off you.
Yeah, let me get that. You know what I'm saying?
And that hunger hasn't stopped since.
I mean, I love helping people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I believe our job is to plant new seeds so we can grow new crops for the future.
Let's go.
If you don't break records, we don't have new hits. You know what I'm saying? The whole market suffers.
And the guys get caught up in that payola, that money game. Everybody trying to get some money, but at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of DJs benefit more from having their name attached to getting people popping more so than trying to come in the game. Give me this, give me that. And a lot of times those guys don't even have the kind of juice to even put a lot of these guys.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Speaking about that, man, right? I used to do this, right? I used to carry a couple of flash drives. And if it was some hot records, probably about like 5 or 6 records around there, right? I would actually just go give it to DJs and say, hey man, this right here, just check this out. I'm not working nobody record or nothing. I'm not getting paid shit for this. You know what I mean? These are a couple of records that I believe in and I just want to spread the word with it. You know what I mean? One time, man, this DJ told me, man, look, Watts, man, I'm here every Friday and Saturday night. Man, if you give me $1,000, man, I'll play this record in there every weekend.
Have a nice day.
I am highly offended by this, right? Because number one, I'm not working records. Number one, I'm really sure I'm coming. Like I said, I'm coming from a point of pure love. You know what I mean? This is some shit that I know is hot, and I know that you're gonna need it. And I know that you're not playing this. I know you're not. You know what I'm saying? And you know, but I was offended by that, and I could imagine how he probably came to everybody else. Mind you that this is a dude. Now if I went to your club and there was 2,000 people in there, maybe I can understand that. But this is a small bar here. You know what I mean?
Nobody in there but you and the janitor.
Well, no, it's a little bit more than that. You know, I'm gonna give you a good 50 people there. You know what I mean? But nothing to justify the fact that I'm gonna pay you $1,000 to do this. You know what I'm saying? You know, now if I came over here and you had like I say, if it was 1,000 people in this place around here, you know, if this place was popping,
like Metropolis back in
I can
understand.
I can understand.
That don't mean I'm gonna do it.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
I can understand you saying this, right? But just to show you that the politics have ruined the spread of the music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like this here, right? Well, if this DJ that don't like I'm saying, DJ No Juice is coming at us like that, maybe all the DJs are thinking like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they got the game messed up.
So I'm thinking that's what's really just ruining the whole thing because, you know, you don't get people that just pop records. You know what I mean? Like, one of my favorite DJs to this day is Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oak Cliff will pop a record in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This man is gonna pop a record in a minute, man. This man is gonna come from love. You know what I'm saying? I could never go listen to an Oak Cliff set without hearing something new that I like and I never heard before. Period.
You know what? And see, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for him.
Okay.
See, here's the deal. If I'm a DJ, if Watts comes to me, if Dale Scott comes to me, if Lester Sir Pace comes to me, any of the Captain J, whoever you name, if they tell me, hey man, you really ought to play this.
He's heavier. Yeah.
I'm gonna play it. Because on the strength of the name that brought it to me.
Yep.
So, like you say, DJ No Juice. So he being like nice, like, dude, you ain't even on my level to be trying to get money out of me. You ain't even say, well, tell the artist to come pay me. So the fact of the matter is, a lot of that has to do with just disrespect of like, dude, this dude is a legend. If he come to you, man, all bets is off. You got to put that little hustle you trying to do to the side in that moment. And well, hey man, if he getting a stamp, if Watts gave it a stamp, I'm finna play it. You know, so that it everybody trying to get the money, but it's good ways and bad ways to go about it, and it's respectful and disrespectful ways to try to approach getting the money. So that ain't the way to do it, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. This is the philosophy I live by. You know, I work in commercial radio and I understand politics. You cannot let politics overrule reality.
Come on, man.
Ooh, say that.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's right, brother.
Because I understand this. You know what I mean? Like I say, I work in commercial radio, so I understand politics to the fullest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like I say, man, you cannot let it overrule reality.
Politics in every category have always served as a means to destroy anything that's organic. You know, so to say it works in just the actual political realm, but it also works in the music industry because, like you say, once everybody starts focusing in on that aspect, then it distorts the art form and it discourages the artists who just trying to get on. Everybody ain't got $15,000 to give you, or $5,000 or $200.
Yeah.
You know, so if you call yourself, well, I'm a DJ, I'm this, I'm that, then your first thought should be like it was back in the days. I'm looking for a jamming song, and if it's jamming, I'm gonna play it.
And you know, another thing I noticed about why to be in some of the spots you wouldn't expect them to be at a lot of times. I've ran up on this many a times. It's like at you know how we used to have those where we have artists, unsigned artists come and perform.
Like a showcase or something.
He'd be in the back.
Yeah.
You know, and it's weird. Like, what's that balance from you that you still go out there to those little? Because those spots, maybe it'd be maybe about 150 at the most. I've been up one of those, and I still see you in those things.
Man, you know what? Like I say, man, I'm a person that loves music, and I never, you know, I'm a student.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in learning something new or seeing something new.
Come on.
You know, and I like to see that new artist that just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? That did something different, man. That dared to defy the odds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Definitely. Right. Because you never know. See, that's the thing about being in the game as long as we've been in it. You don't know who's gonna be the next one. The one you think is may not, and the one you didn't even have on your radar, he comes out of nowhere seemingly, and all of a sudden, that's the guy. You know, and people remember who showed them love on the way up, and they remember who didn't.
Yeah.
So it always lends a stamp because I've seen events where Watts will be a special guest, whether he's DJing or not, but he may be a special guest DJ, but it lends a degree of credibility to it to say, okay, well, Michael Watts is gonna be there, because I'm sure that you had artists just come up to you. And what's your take on that? You know, because I know back in the day that was big, but an artist come, hey man, check me out. Do you listen to those guys back in the days, or is it like, you got a criteria that you base that on?
If I'm at a showcase,
Yeah.
and if you're not performing at the showcase, around there, right? You're not investing in yourself,
Gotcha.
right? I have more respect for the artists that investing in this showcase, that put themselves on stage and challenge themselves to be better, than the person that say, hey man, listen to my stuff.
Right. Gotcha. You want to see some type of work behind this to check me out.
That's what this work is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like one artist that I worked with, and it was purely on the effort that I seen her working right, was Surreal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Surreal.
Because Surreal,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
it seemed like every time that I'm flying somewhere, Surreal is on the plane with me.
Oh, come on, man.
I ran into Surreal probably to about 4 places. I'm flying and Surreal is going out there. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
She's still hustling right now.
Yeah, she was on the plane, man. So that was really impressive.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to Florida, you on the plane going to Florida, I need to be checking you out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's the heart that's going to make you successful. You know.
Is that how she became the first lady?
I'm gonna say that was part of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that, man, because I'm really hard impressed on that, man. Because for women to go out there and really be pushing, and that was before the hot woman movement
I know.
came off. You know what I'm saying?
You're not lying about that. It ain't like nowhere like it is now.
Yeah, that's before the hot women movement started.
Yeah.
Now, if Surreal would have popped that off like that in this hot woman moment right now. Oh man, shoot! What she was looking for would have happened for her, especially at the point where we were at back then as a label. You know what I'm saying?
How in the hell do you get penalized for being ahead of the game? Ooh, that's
cold,
tough,
man.
She was definitely ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying?
That's cold, man. Yeah.
But the timing was the timing was the timing wasn't there yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
It seems like the industry wasn't ready for the women explosion and the women movement.
Not that many.
Not then. Nicki Minaj was the only female rapper that was being accepted for over a decade.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, she had a monopoly. It was her and a bunch of dudes, and then but I think that's kind of the way that the universe works. And like sooner or later, it's gonna provide and produce what's necessary, so that imbalance is gonna balance itself out, and it did. Because now you got females killing it, knocking these dudes dead in.
Yes, man.
So answer me this: so at the peak of the Swishahouse, who did that roster consist of? Like, we know some of the names, but
I mean, at the peak of the Swishahouse, man, you had Slim Thug, you had Little Mario, you had a Big Tiger, you had Big Pick.
Was Paul and Camille there?
Paul Wall, Camille there. Yeah. Paul Wall and Camille there. And Mike Jones.
Oh man.
Magno.
Underrated.
We had Lil Ron. We had Sad Warfare. We had Blindside.
So
man,
all these artists were on their label at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a hell of a roster, man.
When we were moving, it was actually an 11 artist show.
Yeah.
Damn.
Back then, it was like the Texas version of Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
And when we first, I don't know how the screwed up click moved back then.
Yeah.
But when before everybody started getting deals, right? When we moved as a collective. You know what I'm saying? Like all 11 artists that you heard rapping on a mixtape, all 11 of them was there in your little town.
They more family up. Remember that's a hell of a roster, bro. When just looking back, thinking about, see, that's like a basketball team that go like 10, 11 deep. You got guys that's so good. This guy might not even get in the game because the other guys are so dope. It wasn't a top heavy roster. All these guys, and the majority of the guys you named ended up getting or signing with majors at some point. How did y'all navigate that from an independent label standpoint to where, okay, now the interest is coming from these big labels? What do we do as a label to get these guys to the next level? We still surviving and eating on our own.
Man, you gotta let it ride with the wave, man. I'm never the type of person that wants to limit anybody.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to limit anybody, man. So at the end of the day, man, the majors are calling for you, man. I'm not gonna sit up there and tell you some shit like, oh man, you with us, man. You shouldn't go sign with Epic and this around there. Hey man, look, this is why we did this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This we do this so you can go to the next level and you can thrive and be successful.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, man, I really want to see you win. I don't want you to. Basically, I didn't want to have like how most labels would do, right? Basically, the CEO's the pimp and you got a bunch of hoes.
Gotcha.
That's how your artists is. I don't want a bunch of hoes. I wanted businessmen.
Yeah. Oh man.
And I respected the fact that I commended you on one of these, man, because almost, you know, Screw them started it, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't get it to where it was national. You know, once they got to national, I see you, it was sort of like your turn. And then you brought up to where it was getting national. Like, it was repeatedly on BET, you know, real MTV. But then one thing about your artists is they came back. And they would grab a Pokey. They would grab Big Mo. They would grab Kiki. You know, and have them start on some of these major songs.
They was influenced by a lot of Screwed Up Click.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Because like I say, man, we are all fans of the Screwed Up Click. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we are definitely inspired by them. You know what I'm saying?
But you
so out of love and respect, you know what I mean? It just, we have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
How was you thinking, man? Because like I say, you know, you come from the beginning of this thing before the rap scene was even taken seriously in Houston. What thought process was going through your mind to see this thing build from nothing? All of a sudden, you guys signing $1 million record deals, just little snotty nose dudes that was coming to the house spitting on. Now all of a sudden, these dudes are going platinum, and that had to kind of just take you aback a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Because like doing this whole process, Ron, even right now, for me, right? My mentality is not to conquer the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? My thing is to bless people, man, to be successful.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But you know, it's just like even to this point right now, I am still not wowed by everything. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, like for me, man, like my wife said, man, you did this and that, and this right here, you should be doing this. To me, I might.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Other people might look at me as something different.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, my spirit is Mike. You know what I mean?
No, you always been the same, even kill brother. That every time I came, every time I come across, he just even kid, just coasting along. I ain't never seen him too high. I ain't never seen him too low. Now I know we all have our ups and downs, but you know, I think that's a reflection of how a man carries himself. Like, okay, I'm just gonna keep myself here, so I can observe better, and whatever happens, like I say, I ain't gonna get too crunk. You know, I ain't gonna get too low about it. How did the I'm not saying like a downfall, but how did the Swishahouse thing kind of start, you know, taking a tumble as far as not the popularity may not being where every label went through that. Every roster had that peak, and then all of a sudden, and what happened in the case with y'all where all of a sudden that fire wasn't there no more?
Everybody grows up.
Yeah.
Everybody grows up, everybody's circumstances change. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when your circumstances change, your point in life change along with it. You know what I mean? Right. So no matter how great something is or was around there, you grow past that point. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's exactly what it was, man. Because you got to realize, man, when the Swishahouse first started, especially with that roster, right? All these were young high school kids. You know what I mean? You got young high school kids that's making money that don't have to sell dope. Right. Yeah. And they are living like the hustlers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause they selling CDs.
I mean, these motherfuckers ain't even put out a real record, and these dudes got apartments, cars, and everything. You know what I mean? They're actually able to live off this. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In a great way,
Well, right. You know, because at the end of the day, man, you hungry for dollars, then you hungry for thousands, then you hungry for millions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the end of the day, you always gonna outgrow your current situation. Wow. You're supposed to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, everybody grows up. Yeah. You know what I mean? These aren't kids anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some thug these are grown men with real responsibilities. These dudes got houses and futures, and they see bigger things, and they're supposed to go pursue bigger things.
And they all, well, not all, but a lot of those guys, even to this day, they ventured off into different business ventures that still are that have, in some cases, become more lucrative than the music. Like what Chameleon Ass doing, some of the stuff the Slim is doing, and Paul and those guys. Like they showed that they had a knowledge that went beyond just the music, but the music served as the foundation to get them to those points, man.
I'm happy to see all of those guys flourish like that. You know what I mean?
Too, man.
I feel better watching those guys flourish than to me sit up there and say, "No, you're gonna be up under me forever, and this and that, and I'm gonna keep you at this cap right here. No, you can't do nothing else around it. I don't want to put nobody in jail.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You are supposed to grow. You know what I mean? You're supposed to make your own business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Like even with our own kids, our kids are supposed to grow and flourish and be able to take care of themselves and take care of their kids. You know what I mean? Your kids cannot grow if you keep them in jail. You know what I mean? You can't. We're not meant to stay on one level. Period.
The universe too big, man.
Like for me, man, my feelings have never been hurt by anybody growing and flourishing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. As they should, man.
This is how life is supposed to grow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know one thing I thought was unique about the Swishahouse too, just looking at it from both sides, like Screw didn't have another DJ to be, you know, with you, y'all had OG Ron C, you know, and what, talk about OG Ron C, what made you bring him in and stuff?
Man, I met Ron C when I was working at 97.9 The Box, right? So when I started doing the slow down mixes, right, you know, Ron was my homeboy. So Ron was more like a corporate dude at the radio station, right? He was working in the promotion department, right? So I'm the hustler. You know what I mean? And I'm telling Ron, you're never gonna make enough money to survive doing this shit. I mean, honest with you. You know what I mean? Come fuck with me. You know what I mean? And work with me on this here. So we started DJing parties, and then when I was doing the Swishahouse thing around there, I used to let Ron MC the tapes. Ron C wouldn't actually DJ.
Oh, he wasn't.
You know, not seriously. You know what I mean? I used to let Ron talk on the tape because he sounded really good being the MC. You know what I mean?
Slapped up.
Wow.
So that's how me and Ron's whole thing started. You know.
That's deep. But I know one thing about every last one of them artists, even though that they gone, they still push that Swishahouse.
Yeah, they still rip. That's what I was going to ask you. Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Just saying, like everybody is just. I'm really happy, you know. And besides the artists, you know what I'm saying. Even everybody that's involved in it in any kind of way, like my manager Mike Clark, you know what I'm saying. This man here goes off and he does a lot of things that are flourishing, like T. Ferris. T. Ferris started off as a kid selling mixtapes in his high school. He started off with me selling mixtapes. This dude is one of the best A&Rs on the planet.
You never know, man.
You see the shit that he's doing with Megan around. This man is flourishing. You know what I mean? This man has turned into a whole mogul. And he started right there with us.
Man, that's wow. Man. We are talented people, man. So currently, right now, what is the Swishahouse still in existence?
Yes, it is.
Certain. We've seen all the labels like we talked about earlier. The roster be just popping, then it'll filter out, but the labels will still operate. So if a new crop of artists was to come along, then that means that y'all will be ready to like, hey man, we ready to spring back into action right now.
You know what? With the right situation, you know what I mean, and working with the right partners, you know, and I'm talking about a major right now. I'll give it another shot. But for right now, man, I'm taking more of the branding label on it because Swishahouse is the household name and the brand right now. So I'm taking more of the branding aspect of it right now. But you know, if somebody came along, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Especially with these young guys, they so talented and so dope, man. And they do a lot of the work on their own with the YouTube and the Instagram and all that. The TikTok, and they build that following up. You know, I would think it would be easier on a label to market and promote an artist like that because they kind of already got something to kind of springboard off of. And you look at it like that, or I know a lot of the same old school principles will still apply. Cause to me, don't nothing beat still getting out there on the ground and handing stuff out. And I would never abandon that. But how would you fuse those two together if you found this young hot cat tomorrow?
Man, he's looking.
I mean, because the thing about it, man, is the fact that people have to understand exactly how this business goes, right? You can find a lot of people that understand, they have talent, you know, and have the heart and have the desire. But the problem is when it comes down to the understanding of how the money is generated, that is always the conflict because you got to realize we went from making dollars to part of a cent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The crazy thing about the music industry when it comes down to an artist, right? It still takes just as much money to pop an artist as it did 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It still took you over $100,000 a quarter or half a mil to make an artist successful or hot. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
But it's not like how it was back in the day when the money you was making dollars.
Yeah.
Now you make it part of a cent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that revenue cut happening with that, it doesn't make financial sense to invest that type of money on that type of risky return. Mm-hmm. No matter how great an artist is, right? Mm-hmm. It's a risky investment.
It's hard to get your return on something like that, man. And we were talking off camera about that before we started, about how many CDs used to move, just the physical copies and all that, and then when the transition to digital took place. So if that's something that hit you hard, like, man, they done changed the game on me. Yeah. You know,
of course. I mean, everybody that was in that era back then, you definitely got hit in the gut. You know what I mean? Honestly with you know what I mean? You got hit in the gut, you know?
Yeah. No question about it.
And it took a few years to really adapt to it. You know what I mean? It took a few years to adapt to it.
Yeah.
You know?
No doubt.
And by that time, man, by the time you got used to it, you had to start all over again. You know?
Yeah.
Because the principles that we were successful on are non-existent at this point.
Right, because I think we had more control. Like you said, you going from making a certain X amount of dollars per unit to now somebody else is dictating to give you crumbs off of a crumb.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing with the music industry when it comes down to investing in the artist, right?
Yeah.
So before I invest $500,000 into an artist, right? I mean, it'll make more financial sense for me to invest $500,000 into property.
Some that they got
I'm
to
doing
do
this
with
for the
music.
money. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that you can invest the type of money in that will guarantee to make you money. You know what I mean?
It makes sense. Yeah.
You know, and it's a very risky gamble. You know, you can have an artist that's growing. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could do one move, one bad move, and
It's a wrap.
Say one bad thing.
and I just ran through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was working with an artist, and he was growing, and he did a couple of bad moves, and
Done.
bam. You know what I mean?
Cancel culture.
Now, can I ask you a question? This is gonna be a little bit, but one thing I've gotten from you is that you're very strategic in a lot of things that you do, right? So, and one thing I noticed also that you're a good businessman as well. So knowing that, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I say, do I even like screw music? Like if it's slow, or did you just do it?
I love slow down music. Let me get that straight right now. I love slow down music.
Okay.
You know, at one point, man, dog, I couldn't listen to anything regular speed.
Yeah, like us.
You know, it's so crazy. Have you heard something that slowed down first? And then when you heard a regular speed, like, damn, this don't sound. This don't sound good, man. This sounds terrible.
I got Lloyd Banks CD, the first one, The Hunger for More, and I got the whole CD screwed.
Yeah.
And I lost it, so I had to go try to get the CD. I didn't even want it no more.
The sad part about it, and Screw used to say that, is like, and fans of Screw music say this all the time, that some people, when Screw would slow it down and chop it up like that,
it make another song.
It helped.
It did help it. It did help.
Some guys, that regular version wasn't gonna get it.
No.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Screw used to turn it into a whole nother song.
It did. You know what I mean?
Right.
The way he used to manipulate it and stuff like
put
that.
different words in it and stuff. Yeah.
So you was in that same vibe, like, ooh, I'm gonna slow this thing down, and then actually made a lot of songs better than.
Man, I'm telling you what's so crazy, man. I was manipulating songs regular speed, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I got popular with the regular speed, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then what happened when Screw started doing the slow down stuff around there, and that he credit that whole culture around there, it just I kind of just elevated what I was doing regular speed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So to this day, you still get down and I see you still at events and stuff and DJing. What do you think about the new artists and the way the music sounds now? 'Cause they got their own style. They got the little cadence that a lot of them use with auto tune and all that, the trap music, whatever, the drill music. What you think about the new stuff? Because like when Keisto asked you, did you really like the slow and trap? How you feel about this new stuff and do you play it?
I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy about the music that's being made right now, right? It's pre-screwed.
Elaborate. Yeah.
So back in the day, all the hits were made 90 beats per minute or faster. Almost every beat, every hit was made 90 beats a minute or faster around there, right?
Right.
The hits they're making right now is 70 BPMs or slower.
Wow.
So when Screw slowed down the song, that song that was 90 BPM, it was 70.
Okay. So they starting at the point that it was brought down to at that time.
So basically they're producing it out the gate of what we turned it into.
Right.
Wow.
So do you like it, or is it some you mess with, some you like?
You know what? On the cool, it's like you can't. Some songs, when it come down to slowing songs, now you can't slow down everything because everything don't sound good slowed down.
Right.
All right. So,
what's one you learned that you say, well, this don't sound good slow?
No, yeah, exactly, man. Because it's already slow. If it's 65 beats per minute, only thing I can do it's too slow to get a rhythm to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How hard is it for a DJ? Are you one of those type of DJs, even back in the days, that you would play something that's popping because it was popping, everybody wanted to hear it, even if you didn't like it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why
absolutely, man, dude.
Okay.
I work for you.
Right.
You're paying me
to
work for you.
Keep that flow packed.
Now, in my own personal life, I won't listen to it. But if I'm working for you and I know this is what's going to work for you, of course, I do it without a question or at all.
Absolutely, man. What do you think gotta happen? Because I always think about the rapper lots, the Swishahouse, the rec shops, Big Time, whoever else I might be forgetting, all these different labels that just was popping either at different points or in as a collective at the same time. Do you think that Houston can ever get back like that, or just the way things are now, we'll never see that with labels, with rosters? Like, is that dead, or can it get back to that?
I don't know. You know, I can't answer that question. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah.
And I would like to see that new company that come up that could be innovative enough to make that happen.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the key, innovative enough, because the artists these days, they ain't dummies. They have control of their artwork, and they're smart enough to kind of go. They can go in on some take it or leave, just like back in the day. I'm sure that when y'all had majors coming at y'all and y'all was already making money, those meetings was way more comfortable on y'all end. Like, I'm gonna listen to what y'all got to say, but we don't have to get with y'all because we ain't desperate.
I remember seeing doing that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I guess if the artist, if the label is innovative enough and they provide enough of incentive to an artist to make them say, okay, I get down.
Yeah, because the whole thing about it, how can you give the artist enough incentive to work with you, right? Considering the fact of the risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to realize, man, that these artists, man, when they're looking at the deals around there, man, they're not looking at the fact of a $100,000 budget around there. I mean, these dudes, artists are looking for $500,000, or they're looking for what they feel like is a real budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What they've been marketed.
Because these labels are trying to take so much, man. They got these deals where, okay, I own this part of you, that part, I get a piece of that, a piece of that, a piece of that. And if you don't, I don't encourage guys to do that unless you finna give me enough money to where I say I'll take that hit for a few years and I'm still come away.
But the thing about it, these record labels around there, that they're not giving you that type of money around there to that you can bounce back from. I mean, at the end of the day, if they give you $1 million around here, by the time you're free from that deal around there, you're going to do something totally different. You know what I mean? Honestly, man, these people, they're going to be wanting to own all your publishing. They're going to want to own your name, your company, and everything.
Right. They come at you like that?
I mean, no. I mean, at the end of the day, I made a whole different company, man, when it came down to us doing a deal with the majors. Like, I still own Swishahouse.
Right.
You know what I mean? Swishahouse didn't sign the deal with the major around there. Me and Dash made a whole different company for that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So you can get like a label deal.
Yeah. Like Swisher Blast is the label that me and Dash made to work with the majors. You know what I mean? Because I have this thing in my mind here is this, right? If this shit goes a bust for any reason, I still hold my label, so we still make money with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's crazy because
Forward thinking.
they know that name. That name, you can tell people still know that.
Because at the end of the day, when the majors, they want the artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They wanted Paul. They wanted Mike Jones. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want the artist. They're more interested in the artist. You know what I mean?
They wanted your roster.
They want the roster. You know?
And they all came and hit the ball right out the park too.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to watch because, like I say, when Houston go through the peaks and valleys, and all of a sudden, you know, this clique that was on this point at one point, they not there no more. It's like Swishahouse grabbed that baton
And kept it going, yeah.
Man, it was a beautiful thing to see, man. So, do y'all got like any like reunion stuff planned out?
We did we did a reunion at White Oak Music Hall last year. We're gonna go back and revisit that. We have to go back and do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for that.
And the cool part about this reunion, and when we did it, is the fact that they didn't do any of the commercial stuff, right?
Right.
Okay.
We did all underground
All the
stuff.
mixtape.
All the mixtape stuff around there.
Man.
So for the people that came there,
That were die
this
hards.
was a treat.
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna come back and revisit that, you know, because I know that people really want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Please let me know when you do that.
We definitely gonna revisit and do that again.
Checking it out.
Any new The Day Hell Broke Loose coming out new?
You know, it's so crazy, man. I don't even know how to really approach that record right now. You know what I'm saying? Because considering the fact that, how do we do this? You know what I mean? And considering where the music industry is right now, you know, and you're thinking about where are the artists at right now? There's the original Swishahouse members, right? And I'm not just talking about the ones that's on the majors around there. I'm just talking about everybody.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
Right.
You know, because I want to make a good product, you know what I mean? And I want everybody to be successful with this project, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we can't put any trash out there because everybody's life is on the line with this project, you know what I mean? And I really want this thing to be a really, really good thing, you know?
Man, that would be so dope.
You know what? I'm gonna get into it and just dive into it and take the challenge of it.
Yeah.
But you know, to be honest with you, I have other things that I'm trying to just do to stabilize myself as a businessman and a family man right now. So first of all, let me get myself straight.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
Because the whole while I'm doing the Swishahouse stuff around there, right? Yeah. I actually put everything into that and really put myself and my family last.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after you have adult kids and you see how their lives turn out, and knowing that you could have did something way better by making better moves right there, it changes yourself as a man. You know what I mean?
Time you can't get back.
Yeah. So my thing is this here, man. Just like
Yeah, I know it.
I like. Okay, it was successful, man, but the price of it, you know, that I paid for it, man. You know, just to lose the love for my seeds.
Right.
Because of I wasn't to be there for them because I put everybody and everything else ahead of them. It's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm as a man, I'm not going back that path there. But you know,
that's a hell of a balance. See that's the question of what are you willing to sacrifice in terms of like in order for my family, because I know in my heart without you even telling me this, all that you was doing it for your family. You was like, I'm trying to position us in a financial way, but sometimes forgetting the actual fathering part, the family part, the love part. Something always gotta suffer when you're chasing that prize like that. And that's a tough thing, man.
I mean, and just growing at the end of the day, like I say, we was kids, you know, we was new to the business around there, but growing and knowing how to make better moves nowadays, I'm gonna choose the smarter move nowadays than to just the move and stuff like that. Like I didn't get sleep for days at a time doing that shit. You know what I mean? I sleep every night now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't, even though it might be an hour, but I do sleep every night around there. You know, like I'm at home with my family all the time, man. I got kids. I'm actually raising them now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's amazing. You know, I never heard nobody put that spin, get a kind of that perspective of it, because like I say, a lot of times we get so caught up in get this money, man, make this pop off, get this career popping off. And just the truth is, sometimes the people closer to you, they suffer because of the lack of that time that they get, man. So man, that's a hell of a thing.
And they get envious too and jealous behind because you're spending more time with people that.
And rightfully so though. Because if it's children involved, it's like, Daddy, hold on. I know you big time record man, but I need my daddy right now.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
It's not a good feeling when you feel like you lose your soul behind, and your soul is priceless. Man. No money is worth my soul. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. Listen.
No money.
No question, man. No question about it. And this industry is designed to snatch souls. This thing ain't designed to put put artists in a better place. It's designed to put the heads of those labels in a better place, those so-called elites.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, not many people come out of it unscarred and unscathed, especially when they naive enough to feel like I gotta do whatever it takes to get there. Nah, man, you don't get it up, man.
You don't give your soul for that. You know what I mean? You don't give your soul for that.
Beautiful.
Because they want all of it.
Yeah, and throw you away the second they got it. The second that you drain all the same love, the same fake love that they showed you coming in, now they showing it to somebody else as you going out. So it's never no amount of money, no amount of status is worth you giving up your soul and really your life, because you giving up your life while you still vertical, and your reputation and all of that is destroyed behind something that you thought was more important, at that time, man. So that's wise words, big brother. Wise words, man. Anything you got going on that you want to tell the people about, man? Anything you're working on, and this social media,
And who the next artist we should be looking at? Cause I know you got some.
It's so crazy, man. It's just so many. I'm not directly working with a new artist right now. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I'm not directly working with a new artist right now. But there are a lot of people that are doing stuff around there. Hold on, this is my wife. Hold on. Yeah, because at the end of the day, man, it's just like when you see. I've been married before and I've been divorced around there, right? Mm-hmm. And just the fact of putting everything to the side, and before I wouldn't answer the phone, and then and then I would get into an argument around there, and it just you make you just, like I say, it's a part of taking your soul. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the industry taking your soul to not respect your wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Right. So what's Watt's advice on weddings, on marriage and stuff? Like, what did you learn from your first marriage that you now look and use, I guess, for your second one now?
My wife right now, she taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you got to have someone that you can grow with. Not somebody that's gonna grow off of you or something like that. You can grow with. You know what I mean? I never had someone that I was with that took the time out to say, "Hey, man, look, we need to be better." You know what I mean? Yeah. Most people, as soon as you make the first strike, they're ready to throw it all away. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, blame you for it.
Yeah. Even though in all reality it might be your fault, but it already might be your fault. Right. But at the end of the day, when you get married for better or worse.
That ain't what we signed up for.
You're gonna make mistakes. Right. You have to forgive and you have to grow past your mistakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Before, I know it's like, okay, you didn't do well, kick rocks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, well, you get in the way of the money, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. I feel that.
I be thinking a lot of people don't read they call it the fine print, but it's really the bold print. It says it's furnished for better or worse.
You said it in front of everybody. We was all in the churches. You said it. Her mama, her family, everybody saw us say that. But a lot of times, man, that becomes just a narrative, just a program script that we follow. I'm just saying it because that's what the preacher told me to say, and that's what the other million people that got married said. But very few situations come where people actually live that. Because when it's time to show it, They say for rich or for poor. Okay, we popping now, but what happened when the money fall off?
Exactly.
You gone?
Or bad
Or
investment.
we finna build? Yeah. You know, so a lot of that got to do with what happened if something happened to her. She gets sick. You gotta wipe her butt now. And she like, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you really for sickness and health?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's a crazy game, man. But you know, the learning process and everything you've been talking about today, in my mind, just signifies like the word you use, growth, from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint. We here to grow, man. This life is about growing and being thankful for any blessing or any opportunity that we get to correct a mistake.
Yes.
We live in a time where a lot of young people, they not getting a chance to make that one and it's done.
Done.
Yeah, so I mean,
Like I'm telling you, man, the cancel culture is real, man.
Yeah.
Or even you make a friend, and next thing you know, you in line with a Rico.
yeah. And I'm talking, just like both of y'all said, the cancel culture, your freedom, and your life itself. You know, one mistake. So that's the beauty of, you know, a lot of us coming, because like I said, I started this off by just giving you your props about how long you've been relevant, bro. You know, that your name is still circulating, and your name was circulating back in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all the way up into the current. So that's a testament to whatever your process is, that longevity, man. So
It's love, man.
Yeah.
It's just love, man. You know, it's just love, man. Love is what keeps me here. You know, I never. You know, at the end of the day, man, sometimes, man, it gets rough. After you go through situations around there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still keep the love in my heart, man, and I still show people love.
Man, all the time, man. He is not lying, you know, because we land on a lot of the same events together, man, and it ain't never been nothing but pure love and respect on both sides, man. So I appreciate you, man, coming through, chopping it up with your brothers, man. Go ahead, you got one more? Go ahead.
Good.
Where did Michael 5000 Watts name come from? Is there some equipment or something? You got shocked?
Is your last name really Watts?
My last name is really White.
So that's perfect.
I shouldn't even be saying that, considering the fact of how people with these scammers going around there. Oh, we're going to look him up.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. It's like, back in the days, that's what it was. It was like, man, how many watts is your system? You know what I'm saying? So, so that's perfect, man.
So the 5,000 came from Lester Pace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when I started doing radio, you know, they were talking about. I say, man, what's your radio name? My name is Michael Watts. That's all I started using, because back in the day when I come up with some kind of fancy DJ name, there'll be some DJ that will come out, and before you know it, he's the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna use my own name, and let's see somebody steal that.
Right.
And lo and behold, somebody did that. Somebody tried to do that.
Wow.
It was the cat out of Philly. You know what I mean? And what's so cool about this dude? This dude had a record with Paul Wall on it.
Yeah.
When he was signed with us.
Wow. So he came
There's
late
a
on the
dude
stove,
named
man.
Mike Watts. Yes, but I already had. I was already in the marketplace.
Right. See, that's when you know.
Your name already.
You know, I don't, like I said, I don't know if his name was really Michael Watts. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
It wouldn't matter if my birth name was Michael Watts, and you was already popping as Michael Watts. I can't come out and call myself Michael Watts.
yeah, you tripping. You know what I mean? It's a pure
Whitey,
pleasure.
I
Right?
gotta be Whitey Mike or something.
Yeah, and then you made a record with Paul on it while he was with us. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
See, we need to go get that check. I'm thinking we need to go get that check from back now.
Hey,
I'm ready to go.
man.
All you need is a cigar.
I know,
You got to be the next should, dark should.
I know, right? Right. You go get that check.
We appreciate you, man. We appreciate everything you've done for the game, for the city of Houston, man.
Yes,
for
sir.
the culture.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, wish you continued success to keep doing what you're doing, man. And just the fact that you stayed like you stayed all these years, bro. And being an OG, triple OG veteran of life and the industry, you know, there's so much we can learn from you and your experience if we would but listen.
That's it.
Quit thinking we know everything, man, and come sit at the foot of the master, man, in whatever field it is, and learn to make us all better, man. We appreciate you, family.
Yes,
Oh, man, appreciate you guys, man.
man, keep
Also, man, checking me out, Swishahouse.com. That's the website, Swishahouse.com.
People still get merch and stuff out the
Man, people still get merch, man.
Yeah.
People still get merch, man. People have been, I'm revamping the website right now, so, but you know, people are still asking for everything. You know what I mean?
As they should.
Yeah, them
People-
physicals ain't dead yet. Nah.
Now let me ask you a quick trust. Do you even know how many mixtapes you put out?
Man, wow.
Strong, man. That's strong.
That's wow. I
If you
don't
had to do
know.
a ballpark, what would you say?
But I'm gonna tell you what's gangster though.
Okay.
I got over 100 that I never put out.
Ooh.
I still got the mix. I actually still got the
hard drive.
Shoot, before the hard drive, I got over 100. Over 100. Man, if I include the hard drive, I probably have at least about 200 projects I never even put out.
Man.
You know, and probably
That
on
is
the cool.
gangster.
Yeah.
On the cool, I probably regular project to put out probably about 300 maybe.
Yeah.
Probably like it's definitely over 200. You know,
I figured
consider
it,
the
yeah.
fact of that. But you know, I got 200. I said that I was going through my storage around there, man. I got boxes of cassettes that I never even put out.
Wow.
Put it out.
Put it out.
Remember when
You say cassettes, though.
No, it don't
Cassettes.
matter.
No, but I mean, hard drives too, though.
Conversion is a reality. Remember we had Face in there. Face was playing a lot of the stuff.
Oh,
that he
yeah,
never
sure.
made. I was the same with, man, put it out.
Yeah, all the stuff that
Put
didn't
that
make,
stuff out, man.
like, everything they ain't make the fix or he had so much music, it's ridiculous.
Bro, I would put that stuff out somehow. And like I say, everything can be converted to whatever format it needs to be converted. But you know, it's like all the music Prince had in his vault. You know, that just was sitting up in the vault. It's like at your own time, and when you get ready, then you'll figure out a way to distribute that stuff.
Man, after I get everything stabilized around here, man, I'm gonna start dropping it like rain because
Knocking it here.
people need it, man, because it's a lot of history of us in our Texas culture around there, man, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't know, like Hardest Pit in the Little, right?
Yeah.
I actually made a chopped up version for that for Pocket back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chevy's actually released it back then, but I actually did that. I did Don't Mess With Texas by Kiki. I actually did a remix. No, the one after that.
Right.
I did that for Patrick from Jam Now.
Okay, yeah.
I did a slow down version for that. I don't think Patrick ever even released
Yeah.
it. That's a piece of history that's
Right.
never even been out.
Was
So
you the
it's
first
not-
one screwing the whole album?
You know what?
Like, slowing down and chopping the whole album?
I think
That's
I'm
what
the I think I'm the first person that started doing the slow down and chop versions of commercial records for other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I think I am. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Cause that was a whole new field too. Cause I don't think Screw ever did that. I don't think he ever did one a whole album.
I don't know. I was out the loop, man.
If he did do it, he probably did it on a mixtape, but I don't think he really did. I don't think by the time that stuff started popping off, I think he was, you know, what year did Screw pass?
99, 2000, right around
99?
2000.
So I started doing commercial records after he had passed. So when after he passed, that's when basically the majors started understanding what slow down and chop music was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that he actually passed before he could get a chance to even do that, before the industry could give him a chance to do it.
Now, what's coming with Power, I see sort of some of the same thing. He was saying, like, the industry, that people didn't know that when they came to Houston or the Texas or the southern region, they said you might want to go ahead and invest with a Michael Watt or I think this was when Power was doing doing his DJing thing.
Yeah.
But he'll tell the artist, either you put it out or somebody else gonna put it out for you.
Yeah.
Need to
But you gonna get
go through the channels.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, because down here, man, it's like it's a big slow down and chop music culture out here. You know, and a lot of people don't even know that, man. But it's a real.
So
big
it's
culture.
is it still popping like? Because I know a lot of new generation, they not into the slow and chop. They kind of into what the style is now. So the slow and chop is still popping.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yes, man. You gotta realize,
look, man. You gotta forgive.
you gotta realize this, man. There is a global culture.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it might not be as strong in Houston with the youngsters around now, but you have a whole globe of people that's from all over the world that still like it.
Man, listen,
You know what I
love
mean?
it.
It's a global culture. You know what I mean?
Look, Kate, my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm going to go just mess with her. My daughter's. I'm listening to it. I said, "What is that?" She say, "It's called slowed and reverb."
Slow and verb, yeah.
And I looked it up.
Yeah.
Man, it's a whole freaking community
Right.
of almost everything
I think I
is
heard
slowed and
I think I
reverb.
heard of that.
Yeah.
I think I heard
Yeah.
of that. Okay, well, I mean, that's all good, man. You know, we're going to perpetuate the culture. We know where it started.
everything elevates.
Yeah,
Everything elevates. I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we super proud of you, big dog.
Without a doubt, man. OG.
Yes, sir.
Already.
Man, much love, man. Michael 5000 watts, man. We'll have all the social media info on the video so y'all can check them out and go support the movement, because the movement is still moving. All right, man. It's your big brother k-rino.
It's your boy Key
It's
Stove.
the Underground Dialogue Podcast. Much love to y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. Blessings.
Peace.
What's up, man? It's your big brother k-rino. And check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue Podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business, you can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue Podcast. All you gotta do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. And man, look, we got some merch that's gonna blow y'all mind. It's gonna blow y'all. When y'all see the merch, y'all gonna be wanting to just dive through the screen.
We got some coming for you, man. We building, man. We building. So watch that as we grow.
Already.